Welcome to the How to Heart Show, helping men reconnect to the heart and empower others as the leaders they were born to be. I'm Vincent Haasboom. The world needs the raw and authentic men right now. Join us if you're ready to make a change.
Hey, what's up, Lions, and welcome to another How to Heart Show. The pickup industry is really an interesting topic because I've been there for a couple of years, and in the beginning, I was just blown away how cool this is, how to date women, how to pick them up, and how to sleep with them. But later on in my journey, I felt really disconnected from myself. I felt like a Robotron, just pick up lines, and I didn't feel myself. And I had an interview with Jackie, and she said, I'm really curious about the pickup industry. So I said to her, like, hey, let's do another episode. But this time, she's going to interview me. So it's going to be fun for me as well to be interviewed on my own show. And also for Jackie, she has her questions, and we're going to have a conversation about this topic because not many people talk about this, and it's really toxic if you see it from like a loop. I've been there. I didn't like it, and I left, and I found another coach that really operates from the heart, and that was something that really connected with me more. So we're gonna talk more about the pickup and also my switch from a healthier way to meet women. So Jackie, thank you so much for being here. Super excited to have you on the show again.
I am so excited to be here. And I have to confess to your audience, the reason that I wanted to do this with Vincent is because I'm much older than Vincent is. And I actually did not know what the pickup industry was. So certainly I'm that old. And then when I found out kind of the focus of it, I was really, really appalled. I was just beside myself in terms of what it felt like, the flavor of what was behind why young men would want to get into what the pickup industry was about. All of my work is all about authentic connections and really making sure that you are learning how to be authentic with yourself and how to understand self compassion, self love. And all of this felt like it went right in the face of all of that. And the goals seemed to be okay, meet women, sleep with women, doesn't matter what happens after that. So it was a real curiosity for me, and selfishly, I asked if I could interview Vincent to find out a little bit more about this and to really dig into the whys as to why this is such a marketable industry. Like as you said, and you told me, it is making millions and millions for people. And that scares me probably even more to think that it's so successful and that there's so many
Yeah.
men that are thinking that this is actually the answer. So we're going to delve into a couple of different questions. And Vincent, you're the best person to do this with because you are so self-reflective. You are so in tuned to your own journey of self-discovery. And I really want for young men who are sitting on the cusp or not feeling that this is fulfilling a need for them, that there is another way, that there is something that can be unpacked about this a billion-dollar industry and figure out that if it's not feeling successful for you, then like really dig into why that is. So first of all, let's just set the stage. um Tell me what drew you to this work and what breaks your heart about the state of young men's emotional lives today. So I know that you're really focused on how to harden the heart focus of, lions and really finding their way through the world right now, which can be very confusing. What drew you through your own experience to doing this particular work with this particular focus?
That's a good question, and thank you so much, Jackie, for this powerful introduction and also your curiosity. So thank you so much for sharing. For me, really wanting to do this is my own journey, like you said. I've done a lot, I learned a lot, but I felt really disconnected. And I see a lot of men, especially the young generation, really lost. They don't know what to do with themselves. They just follow a narrative or what the parents want from them. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but sometimes we do things that we don't want to do and we're afraid to say no or go our own way. And I decided that I wanted to share my voice and share my knowledge, or it's not really mine, but what I've learned, so people can have a better decision. Like you said, I'm aware of myself. I'm aware of what's happening in my life with myself. And I wanted to share that with other people so they become their own authentic leaders and they can make their own decisions from there. And it's a need. It's a big, big need for men like me to speak up, to say something about it. It's not just for the guys, but also for the women, because women are not being protected by men. It's like, yeah, well, women are solo entrepreneurs. They're the big boss lady, so they don't need help or they don't need a man. It's like that's not the case. We need each other. So I want to bring back the balance with the men and women. So we're not fighting each other or say, well, I don't need it, we don't need each other, but really come together and really work as one and not have this hate and painful relationships. But there's always pain and struggles in relationships, but still have a healthier, balanced relationship. And if I can say it like this, if men starting to heal themselves and work on themselves, then their life is gonna change. The life for women are also gonna change, but also the world is gonna be a better place. It's gonna be less
That's right.
people have traumas, fear-based, and we're really gonna go more into our power. So that's the reason that I'm doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, I love that. And I think one of the things that you mentioned that is very, very powerful is when we have scripts that we think are supposed to work for us, but then we realize that we want to break away from the scripts or kind of how we were taught to act. But if there's nothing to kind of fill that void, then everybody starts feeling quite lost. And then you look for the lowest hanging fruit. And for me, that's what the pickup industry really represents is that low hanging fruit is just I don't have to really kind of figure my way through anything. I can just kind of put my money into this. I can buy a coach. I can figure out what they're trying to tell me, and then I can put it into experience. And what's missing, of course, is exactly what your work focuses on, which is the emotionality behind your driver, why you're choosing to do things, what's your long range plan, et cetera. It might fulfill a small need in a short amount of time, but it certainly doesn't in terms of if you're wanting to really have a relationship with longevity and focus on where you'd like to go, whether it's with a partner, whether it's with a man, whether it's a female. You have to really kind of figure out exactly what your plan of action is, not just for the next 2 years, but for the next 5 or 10 years. Can I ask, when you talk to young men, what's their biggest fear when it comes to women and intimacy?
That's a good question, and I don't really work with young men right now, so I just share my experience and I will bump it over to why I started. I think that's also interesting for me, why I started with the pickup industry. And there will probably a lot of men or the younger generation relate or thinking about it. So, how it started for me, I had a lot of problems with women. So, when I was in my teens, I struggled with girls. I had a hard time talking to them, a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety, and in 2014, I went to therapy. And when I was done with therapy, I said to myself, I want to get better with women, but I didn't know how. So I do what I always do, research. So I looked on the internet, how do I get better with women? And then I saw videos, YouTube videos with coaches, how they go on the streets or bars and clubs and how they talk to them. And I was just hooked. I was like, this is it. And he showed some videos, like free videos, and then there's a course, of course. And I saw it, and I thought, this is what I want to do. So I bought the course, I went through it, and what I did was learn everything. I learned the behavior, the way they talked, the scripts, the behaviors towards women, and they say like the push and pull, all that stuff. It's all like a system what you need to learn. But what my problem was, once I started it, I was only consuming. So I was learning the scripts, learning what to do, but I didn't take action. And if I did, I was just in my head constantly. And I did this for a long, long time. And I went on forums. They also have that as well. They have huge forums, and the guys can talk to each other. And I felt really toxic in there because it was only about getting women, not to have a connection, not to hey, how can I make her day? No, how do I get her to get her in bed with me? That was the only thing that I saw in those forums. And it was really manipulating tactics. I remember there was a guy and he said, guys, there's a girl that I like, but she doesn't respond. What should I do? Oh, you need to do this. A guy said, oh no, you need to do this. Another guy said. And I told myself, dude, just let her go. Why is there such a need to get her into your bed? Why is it there so many women out there that you can have a connection with and talk to them? But it was so focused on guys getting constantly laid with women. That's the only way that pickup does. But for me, when I didn't get the results, I went to another coach, and then to another coach, and then to another program, and then I bought another program. I think in my journey with the pickup industry, I think I bought 5 courses. And I was always looking for the next fix because I remember when I had the anxiety to talk to women, then I found another coach. Oh, here, there's another course that you can buy, how to diffuse or how to destroy your anxiety. Let's buy it because I want to know how to do it so I can destroy my anxiety and talk to women. It's just a marketing tool because what I've learned and discovered eventually, it's those coaches, they're insecure and they build systems for themselves to connect with women, but they see it's working for them and for other men, so they sell it for profit. But what is happening to most of men, or what I've seen back then, was they stuck in a loop because
Right.
they cannot move forward. And once they cannot move forward, they email or text the coach like, hey, I have a problem with this. Ding, 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 ding. Oh, so I can build a course for this problem. And it's just, that's not how you help men. And there's coaches making millions, like I said. Sometimes some coaches they ask for sessions like 2K for a session or for training or boot camps. It's ridiculous. I have been there. In the beginning was cool and awesome, but I felt so empty. Just, is this it? Is this the way of dealing with women? And it was so toxic, Jackie. It's so toxic.
Is there anything that you learned that you could take in terms of having a true connection with women? Were there any tidbits in terms of like communication styles or understanding yourself better as a person before you actually want to present yourself in a relationship? Was there anything that you could say, okay, well, I can take care of, like, I can dismiss all of this kind of stuff because it felt quite toxic, but there was that one nugget that I really liked, and I'm going to explore that a bit more. Were there any things that you could say, yeah, that was a good point, and I like that in my journey of self-discovery?
The good thing about that is it's heavily toxic, but the good thing that the golden nugget that I got from the pickup industry is the in-depth of the mindset of women. So I learned a lot through the psychology of women. So how they move, how they talk, the cues, because women, if they want something, usually they show you. They're not saying what they're gonna do. And women, they play with the hair or they giggle. So they show you by that way that they are attracted to you. So I learned a lot about the man and women cave time and how women talk and operate and how men behave and the mindset. That's the biggest thing that I've learned. And I always bring that with me when I go somewhere, or I always, not like I'm gonna use pickup, but it's something that I've learned that I can always use. It's always universal with women. But the problem with that was I was getting in my head. So I wasn't my true self because when I wanted to talk with women, what line should I use now? Oh yeah, she's now doing this, so I need to do this. So I wasn't being my authentic self. I was in my head going through, Step one, do this. Step two, do this. Step three, do this. So there was no authentic self. I wasn't being myself. I was trying to be somebody that I'm not. And along the journey, I learned every time I went out, there was so much anxiety because I felt there was a performance that I need to do. I need to show women somebody that I'm not. And I always, when I was in these courses, they always said, fake it until you make it. And I tried, but I couldn't. I couldn't pretend. And women, they're not dumb. They will see through it, and their intuition is really strong. So if there are guys using pickup lines on them, it's like, oh, so you're a pickup boy? Okay, I'm just gonna test you, see how real you are, and then they're gonna test the guy. And if he's not really advanced, he's gonna crumble because he cannot handle the test, and then he goes away home and says, oh, the pickup sucks, it doesn't work because you use someone else's style, someone else's line, someone else's behavior that's not yours. And that's something that always kept with me, that I learned from it. I learned the tools, but it wasn't me. So that's, if guys are in the pickup industry, ask yourself when you talk to women, is this the pickup lines or the coach? Or is it your authentic self that is talking to women?
I love the fact that you did pick up that women have cues. And for sure, I mean, I know myself when I'm in a flirtatious mood, when I was many, many moons, decades ago. You're right. I mean, like there's the playing with your necklaces, there's the licking of the lips, there's the flicking of the hair. And, like I think that that's always good for young men to know, oh, okay, I have a shot here. This looks like it's going very well. She's engaging in those kinds of behaviors, those mating or flirting behaviors, if you will. And so I like the fact that you can draw attention to that and still say, okay, but I don't like the lines and the scripts aren't me. So if someone is in that situation and they're recognizing that someone is in a flirtatious mood with them, what would be your advice to a young man, to a man who is looking for an authentic relationship and they see that this woman is with them and they're giving all of the signals that they're interested? What is it that you're learning about in terms of your next step that you would like to share?
That's a good question, Jackie. So thank you for sharing. The thing that I want to say here is just be yourself. And it's really funny when people say that, like, yeah, just be yourself. But a lot of people don't know how to be themselves, or they don't know who they truly are. And that's the journey that, especially when you're in your 20s and stuff like that, you need to discover who you really are, what's important in your life. But what I always did, I put women on a pedestal. I made women so important. If I saw a girl that I like, or women now, women that I like, I put them on a pedestal. I tried to be somebody that I'm not. For example, I was really nice, like super nice. They're like, hey, how are you? I wasn't being the man to woman dynamics. I was just a guy that's trying to get in a friend zone. But I wasn't really playing with her. I wasn't having fun with her. I wasn't showing my intent. I wasn't showing that I liked her. I was playing it safe. So if you see someone that you're attracted to, just be yourself and drop the guard and drop the mask, the pickup lines. They are not working. In our minds, we think it helps. And yeah, on a point it did. But the problem is you're gonna go in your head. And if she does something, you're gonna go back in your head and she will see it, and then she's gonna walk away and reject you because you're in your head. You're not focused on her because you want to get something from her. Your goal is to meet her and sleep with her. And I wanted to do that as well. But now I learned I want to meet her, I want to connect with her, I want to know who she is. And from there, we will see how it goes. Because the old me was always from 0 to 100. But it doesn't work like that. Especially when you meet somebody new in the club, it's a different environment. But on the street, you go from high, you have a conversation, then you invite her for a cup of coffee or somewhere else, and then you go on a date, and maybe a second date, and then maybe you will sleep with her. But for us men, it's always like I want to have it now. And especially when you're traumatized or you didn't have enough love from your mother, then you're gonna look outside of yourself. And that's what I did. I was always filling the void, getting love from women. And what was most hurtful when I went in the pickup was when they slept with someone, like, yeah, next. It's like, how can you be so cruel? How can you be so cruel to another human being? Like she's just an object. You sleep with her. It's like, yeah, next one. I just boom, next on the list.
Mm.
And I'm not saying it's wrong to experience and sleep with other women, but don't treat them like they're some sex object and just treat them like garbage when you sleep with them. Because I have a dating coach, and he told me this story that really impacted me so much that I said I quit with pickup. I still really, when I talk about this, it's really painful because I've been there as well, and I never saw it from the women's point of view that men does that. And once he told me this story, he said I was also in the pickup industry, and he brought a girl home, and also his focus was getting her into bed. And he did that, and then he said, I never heard from her again. And he said it was so painful that she never reached out and never said anything back, or just sleep with each other and then gone. And it just, oof, I still feel it in my core. It's like, this is not how we connect. This is not how we treat each other. And society is like, yeah, also with Tinder, all that stuff. I didn't like it. All this hookup culture, the connection is getting lost. Through this podcast and through sharing this, I want to bring the connection back, because there's more than just sex. And sex is really spiritual, because when you have sex with somebody, you change energy. So your energy will collide with each other. So if you sleep with a lot of toxic women, you will get their toxic energy in your system. And that's not something that we talk about. And I'm not saying you should sleep with everyone or the one that you attract to, but what I focus on personally, when I see somebody, I want to have a connection with her before I sleep with her. And that's the standard goal that I set for myself. So again, for men to want to talk with women, start slow. Take small steps, because probably your nervous system is really overloaded. Traumas just preventing you to contact women. So take small steps and focus on the connection, not just when can I sleep with her. Just do that first.
I love the fact, Vincent, that you've mentioned connection about a dozen times in that last interaction that we had. And I think the focus, from what I understand in the pickup industry, is more about the conquest than the connection and the notches, if you will, on your belt, as opposed to how many people you've really understood as a person. Have I got that right? Like, it really is about the conquest. Like, the focus is never really to teach you how to make a proper connection with someone.
Yeah, they teach you how to connect, but the end goal is sex. So it's
Right.
not like, oh, you're gonna meet somebody, she's not interested in you. It's okay. Like you can still have a connection with her. That's also what they teach you with pickup is you cannot have friends, girlfriends, because they teach you if you do that, you're gonna be in a friend zone. But the problem with this is I don't like every girl that I meet. So I can decide if I'm gonna sleep with her or not, or I can just be friends, because why should I dump her if I have a really good connection with her? Maybe has girlfriends that she can introduce, maybe guy friends that has opportunities for my business or the connection of friendship. But because I cannot sleep with her, they say just move on. It's like that's not how we connect with each other. Again, I was focused on the sex because I was getting the love from out of myself. I wanted to fill that void. But now that I love myself again and doing this podcast and all that stuff, I have boundaries. And for the pickup industry, it's really only to get. how do I get laid as much as I can, as fast as I can. And yeah, you need to build connection, but the end goal is always to get laid as fast as we can. That's the pickup. And not all pickup are like this, but most pickup is only about one thing, sex.
And so if I were to ask you, what does it mean to be a man, or how would you define masculinity? How is that defined in the pickup industry? Is it all about conquest? Is it all about the numbers? Is it does any of it actually talk to the idea of that connection that you speak so highly of?
It also depends on the coach, because the coach sometimes says like, yeah, you need to build connection, but it always felt like it's manipulative. So you're manipulating her into getting her into bed. And for me, that's not correct, because women are emotional. So you can play with the emotions. It's really fascinating for me how women operate. And I read a story that was a girl, and she went out and she didn't like bold guys. But there was a confident man, really a bold, confident man, and he started to talk to her, and she was like, "Whoa, so wow, he's really masculine." And he left. And then the girlfriend went to her, like, "What just happened? You told me you don't like bold guys." I don't know. I don't know. I just something felt. I don't know. I like bold guys now, and that's how women operate. And men are taking advantage of that with tactics, manipulative tactics. And if you go deeper into the pickup, there's like old school pickup, and there's so much more of that. And what I always felt was it wasn't really, like I said, about the connection and possible friendships or something to get out of it together. What I've learned with my new dating coach is how can I create a connection together, not just filling my needs, but together. Because sex, it's together. It's not just me, it's not just her. You do it together. And I have more fun. To be honest, when I was in the pickup, I had so much anxiety. I had so much fear because I was only on the outcome, getting her into bed. That was my only goal in my head. And it brought so much stress. And when I learned from my new coach, like, hey, just talk to her, connect with her, just have fun in the interaction. Just finally some drop off my shoulder, because when you go with the pickup industry with the coaches, they say day one talk with this, day two talk with this many, day three talk with this many. It was only it's good to get you out of your comfort zone, but they never teach you like talk with women when you want to, or talk to women when you're going for a walk. And it's always about when you go somewhere, talk as much women as you can. And it gave me a lot of stress because I always felt the pressure to talk to women. And once I just let go and I decide for myself when I want to talk to her or not, just everything went more peace, more in calm. So that's really the difference of being in the pickup industry and being in the social artistry. That is the course or from my dating coach is to connect with yourself first, but then connect with women and move from step to step. And that is the beauty of actual really dating from, again, it's more, the connection is better because some girls, they just like, yeah, I'm just gonna sleep with him because my boyfriend dumped me and whatever. But with this, you have really connection. And what I've learned with the pickup industry, like I said, was always about the tactics. But now I learn to trust myself, trust what I have, trust what I can do, learn is the skill sets instead of just follow the script to get women into bed. So that was the shift that I saw with the pickup industry. And then man was only focused on the pain. That's what I always felt, just filling the void through sex with women. So that's how I saw I lost a bit track of the question that you had, but that's something that always felt really painful, that women are only being used to fulfill men's needs.
Hmm. Right. The question was really about masculinity and if there's a void in a definition of what is masculinity. And now we have, of course, toxic masculinity, which is being bantered about an awful lot. Um, is it a lack of a definition that kind of helps fulfill this particular industry? Like, I don't know where else to turn, so I might as well start here because the promises look so good. Like, I think it's interesting that we all know that people want connections. And yet, oftentimes, we will settle for the artificial connections, which can feel like sex. And what you said so eloquently is, yeah, you can do it, but my God, it's so empty. And at the end of the day, you recognize that you're playing with someone's sister. You're playing with someone's, like it's very interesting how much we can objectify someone. But then if you turned around and went, oh my God, that was my best friend's sister that I was doing that with. Now all of a sudden I feel even worse. Like I feel like a real heel about what I've chosen to do. This is someone that I should have more respect for. I guess my real question is a couple of questions because now I'm just flooded with questions. But one of the things that you just said that I want to kind of dig into a bit more is I understand there is a fear of rejection. There is a fear of rejection on all parts. Certainly for women, there's a fear of rejection or not being, people coming up to you or asking you out or feeling like you have to wait. And for men, of course, it's the rejection of if I ask someone a question and they say, don't bother me, I've got a boyfriend, and you were just, going to comment on a lovely haircut or something stupid. Um, I
Mhm.
guess one of the questions I have, and we talked a little bit about this in our last time together, is there anything to be gained by just recognizing that everything is an opportunity to learn about how to talk to women? Even if it's not like if your end goal is not, I want to see how many women I can get into bed, that's very different than I'm just going to go out and really just kind of work on my confidence in talking to people, i.e., women. And so, I'm just going to literally say, if it's a nice day and there's someone standing beside me at a red light, I'm going to say, it's a beautiful day out today, isn't it? And it's not an interaction that I want to take any further than that, but I'm trying to work on my confidence about literally just starting conversations. What are your thoughts on that?
Exactly as you said, because when we were going with these dating coaches, it was not talking about her day or how she's doing. It was always the stepping stone to use your tactics and then manipulating her into bed as fast as you can. So you were not really interested in her, you're interested in getting her into bed. And what I've discovered also, what I want to add is in the pickup industry, women are being labeled as objects. Like she's
Yeah.
just another girl that I can sleep with. It's not like who is she really? What does her what what is she excited about? What is she passionate about? And yeah, in the pickup industry, they talk about it, they ask about it, but it's to get to the level of getting her into bed. So it's not really you're not doing it because you really want to learn her or understand who she really is. The pickup industry is designed for you to understand the psychology of the women, so you know what to say, what to do. But it's not really to get to know her; it's to get together into bed. So that's also toxic masculinity because you're not doing it for the right reason. You're not doing it for the connection. And real masculinity is really be yourself, like you mentioned, like you said perfectly, Jack, is to harness the skill of being a man. Like do something that you're afraid of. Do something that is challenging. If you're afraid to ask women out, do that. But first, take small steps. When you still have so much anxiety, you have to learn to calm your nervous system.
Right.
But when you go on the streets, you can say like, "Hey, I like your hair." I did that as well when I quit with I want to say pornography. When I quit with the pickup and went to a healthier coach, he said me to do that first. Go to the city or for a walk and just compliment people. Compliment on their looks. Compliment what you see. Say what time it is, or just have a banter. Just have a conversation. And that for me had so much more pleasure than how do I get her into bed because I felt the connection with you, real connection. Not just
Yeah.
like, oh, so in a couple of hours I'm gonna have sex with her. It's like, no, I really I started to have more fun, more interaction, but I saw her looking at me in a different way. I saw her seeing at me like, oh, this he's true. He's the real guy, not just a pickup guy with a mask on. So true masculinity for me personally is really do the things that you're afraid of and really learn the skill set how to really in a healthy way to attract women, because I went also to training for boot camps. I wasn't really good, but what struck with me when I was in Poland for training, I didn't seduce her. I was just talking to her and just having fun with her, and then she suddenly kissed me. It's like, wait, what? And I was shocked because I was so in my head with I need to have all these tactics, I need to say all these lines, these words for her to be attracted. But I just had a conversation with her. I was playing with her, I was teasing her, and then she kissed me. I was like, and that from that moment I realized this is not what I want to do. I don't want to be in the pickup anymore. I want to be the natural. I want to be walking up to women and start a conversation and learn the cues, see the attraction. If they're playing with the hair, you know she feels the attraction. Or when he talks, she touches you. You know she's interested in you, and that's the best way to interact with women, in my opinion. And it makes more fun because when you use manipulation, it's not good. It's not okay. But when you with the real deal, just talk to her like in a natural way. It's more magical. That's how I feel it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I have to say, I mean, when you have the confidence literally to be able to just to say to someone, "Oh my gosh, I just have to tell you, your smile just made my day." Like looking at you smile,
Exactly.
and then you move on with the rest of your day. Not only do you feel wonderful about the fact that you've really noticed something about someone else, but you have probably made their day also. And it doesn't have to go any further than that. In fact, oftentimes it's more magical when it doesn't. And you just think, "Oh my gosh, someone just stopped me to say this lovely thing." And not, "Oh, I wish he would come back," or "I wish he asked for my number." It's just a lovely, as you said, magical exchange, literally in the moment. And it's just the exchange of energy. Like there's that beautiful
Yeah.
energy of, "I've noticed you, and I literally just want to stop you and say, I've noticed you and I've seen you. And you just brightened up my day just by being here." And then you move on. Like it's not about a game, it's not about manipulation, it's about that connection. And when we think about how risk adverse a lot of men can be, and that's why they think, "I need a script, I need to figure out where to go because I don't know how to handle if someone gives me a flat out no, or I don't know what my next line should be." And then you get in your head about things. The authenticity of an exchange is completely benign. Like it does not exist when you're in your head, when you're trying to do the script. And it's exactly what you just said. You might actually end up in bed with someone, but there's nothing that has been authentic about any of the interaction. And at the ripe old age that I'm at, and certainly as old as you are too, yeah, there's times when having sex for sex sakes is fine. But then there's a time when you think, "You know what, this is so empty. Like it's bleeding my soul to continue to have these exchanges. I'm really looking now for something that's going to be that true connection, like that real authentic connection." So I have a question for you in terms of what we know is an epidemic right now about loneliness, certainly after
Mhm.
COVID. How much do you think that is playing into this particular industry?
Before I'm gonna answer the question, I had something that I want to share, and that is insecurity as well, because a lot of the pickup industry tap on guys that are insecure. I was really insecure about myself, about women, and
Mhm.
I was a perfect target because they teach you something to be not. So they teach you scripts.
Right.
And what I've discovered is as men, we need safety, we need assurance. So when we have scripts, we feel safe. So when we can use the scripts, tactics, it's more like we are in control of the narrative, of the possible outcome. But I was also really insecure. So even though I had all these tactics, I had all these tools, still I was shaking. I was so afraid. And nowadays, it's also for men, they're so stuck on their phone that they don't really building the skill set to talk to women or just to talk to people in person. So we start to isolate ourselves and be insecure, because once we're gonna start talking with a few people, a few women, and we get rejected, we go boom inwards. Like, oh, see, I'm not good enough. I tried so many things and nobody wants to talk to me. What's wrong with me? You see, I'm not a good guy. And I go, or he goes back into his man cave and then goes to play video games. The pickup industry is so toxic that it doesn't give you the right tools or the right structure. Like, hey, you're gonna get rejected, but it's okay. Just focus on other things. Just focus on building up yourself. Go to the gym. And some courses and coaches does that, but it's always towards the women and not like inward, like, hey, how can I feel good about myself? How can I feel good about around women? Or when I go to a party, I'm focused on the connection, talking with people. I want to learn and know a few people. And the reason for me was, again, or the reason that I see now today with men is they don't have the skill set. And that's what we do. We're gonna, if something doesn't work, we're gonna look on the internet, and then we go to these dating coaches, because when you say, how do I get better with women? Boom, 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 all dating coaches with programs. But if you, I cannot say what you need to do and can do, but if you're gonna work with a dating coach, you need to go somebody that's healthy, because most dating coaches they're basically entrepreneurs. They're just businessmen. They want to sell their course and make a profit, and they have in the old days they had huge followers. It was crazy. They had like 10K people just following them and stuff like that. Like, and most of them just booze off because they feel it's not working, but they gave up. It's like, okay, this is not working for me, but they stop. So the isolation part is really being insecure and not believing that it's possible. I've been there so many times, and that's why I always went back to pornography, because I didn't feel good enough about myself to talk to women. And it was also the part of rejection was of the trauma that I had in the past was I wanted to manipulate women so they stay with me. And then if she leaves, then yeah, it's so painful. So I tried. That's what I feel with the pickup industry. When you sleep with women and they leave, it's fine. But if you want to go in a relationship, still you don't have to develop the skills to really talk to them and understand them. So it's really learning yourself first. And once you're gonna discover that and really focus on yourself, focus on your own life, I've seen and learned that women are gonna be attracted to you automatically. You don't need pickup lines. You don't need to be the hot shot in the room. You just need to be yourself. And if you just have a huge smile on your face, having fun, they want to be with you.
Yeah.
It's law. They cannot help it. They want to be with you because they feel good to be with you. And for men, when they're stuck or they're in their like in this lonely state, start working on yourself. Really go to the gym. I wish I did it sooner, even though I was in the pickup industry. Start to work out because it does so much for your confidence. It boosts your everything in your system. You feel good about yourself. You're building muscle, and women they will notice. I always said I'm not gonna go to the gym because for women. I'm not gonna build my body so I have a huge six pack and torso so women I can get women easier. That was not my goal. And some men do that, and that's the wrong mindset. You need to do it for yourself. So if you're lonely, if you're stuck, go out, interact. Even though you say hi, like you said, Jackie, like, hey, how's your day? Hey, how are you? Ask for the time. You need to take small steps, and then the confidence built. And then from there, when you see somebody that you're attracted to, have a conversation and ask her out and see what happens. But we're so afraid of the rejection that we don't do it. And I've been that for decades. I was so afraid of the rejection that I never went asked women out because I was so afraid of the no.
Yeah. Yeah, and that came up in our last conversation quite a bit actually in terms of that fear of rejection and therefore no one is taking a step forward, which means that that loop is never going to get closed. There's no opportunity to look inward, etc. So it is interesting. And I think that the loneliness factor, you're looking then for all of the easy ways. We've talked a lot about easy dopamine hits in
Exactly.
terms of porn and gaming and, all those kinds of things that feel good in the moment, but that do nothing to really make your soul feel that you've made a connection or that you yourself have been seen and heard. It's a
You
curious
know,
thing in terms of, well, let me ask you this. What do you think that women want in men? What do you think they're looking for?
that's a hard question because I asked this question also to women coaching, and their responses are always different. So for me, it's hard to answer that. But for me, what I feel, what I've read, what I've heard, what women are looking for is really safety. So they can feel comfortable and safe with it. And because there are many guys complaining that bad boys get the girls. And the reason the bad boys get the girls because he says what he feels, what he's gonna do. He's not gonna change his mindset. He's not gonna change himself for her, and that's why the women are flocking to him because he's different. They know what they will have with him, and women or men that are not like that, women will not feel safe with them. If men say, "I'm gonna do the dishes today," and he's gonna play video games, she doesn't feel safe with him. There's no trust. She doesn't feel comfortable with him. So that's why women go to the bad boys because they know what they have with them. And I'm not saying you need to turn into a bad boy, but what I'm saying is you need to stay true to your word. If you say I'm going to do the dishes today, do it right away or in the day itself. Not, oh, I forgot, I will do it tomorrow. It's okay if you forget. If something comes up, it's fine. But don't play with her because she will know it and she will see it and she will get tired. She will not feel safe with you and she will leave you if this keeps going. She will talk to you, she will let you know, she will show you. But if you don't change it, boom, it's exit. She will look for somebody else. So that's what
Mm,
for me, what I've seen with women is I didn't have many experiences with women in a relationship, but I've been in a toxic relationship and I wasn't myself. I was such in this, how can I say, in this nice guy. I was in the super nice guy mode. I didn't have any boundaries. I didn't say no.
right.
And I realized if there's danger and I'm afraid to step up, I'm afraid to be strong, resilient. Even though something happens, I can still be there. She will know that she's safe, that she can trust him if something happens. Because women are wired in a biological way. So if she has sex with you and have babies, she wants to know that she and her babies are safe with you. But if you're a beta man, in those terms, if you're in the nice guy, she probably won't stay with you because she cannot trust you. Your behavior is always different. So I
There's a
think I made a
real,
good example for that.
yeah, and I think that we really have to unpack what it means to be nice also, because if you're comfortable in your own skin, then you don't have to be apologetic about, like, it's not even being called nice, it's just being called authentic. And I think it's when we label it as being the nice guy, people think that, well, that means I'm gonna be all walked over, and no woman in her right mind, unless she has her own toxicities and her own, problems, and God knows, I mean, like, if men are feeling this way, you know that a lot of women are also bringing their own turmoil, to relationships also, and so we're looking for ways for people to get healthy that they can then form relationships. And if a woman is healthy enough in her own being and her own ways of managing herself, what she's looking for, as you've said, is someone who is confident and comfortable in their own skin, enough to say, I disagree with you, or here's my boundary, or here's a big one. I'm going to stand up to my family because I'm going to protect you. So, the women are always watching for that protection in a way that feels very authentic and allows for them to be who they are authentically also. So I could be with someone who is feeling protective, but is such an alpha that I don't want to be around that energy. An alpha energy is really, really draining in an awful lot of ways. And although I want my man to be strong and to be able to stand up with me and for me, I don't want him to be so alpha that he's going to tell me everything that I need to do in my life. So that figuring out where that respect is in terms of two healthy people coming together to make a healthy relationship with boundaries, with understanding about what communication looks like, and really being supportive of each other. I think that that's really where you want to go. So if you're going to go out with your girlfriends on Friday night, knock your socks off. I'm going to stay home and game, or I'm going to, watch the kids, and then vice versa. Next weekend, you go out, etc. There's all of that trust built in. It's a really, really healthy understanding of we don't need to live out of each other's pockets. We don't need to be tied at the hip 24/7.
Yeah.
We have, different interests. We have different friend groups. We come together sometimes we don't. And I'm going to support whatever you choose to do because I believe in you and because I trust you and because I want you to be the best version of you can be, and vice versa. That's exactly what I expect from my spouse. That's what I expect from my relationship. I don't want someone who's going to tell me, "Oh, I can't go out with my friends." That just screams of control issues or inauthenticity
No
or lack of
trust.
confidence. No trust. Exactly. Exactly. So, I mean, I know that we've gone all over the place here. I just want to kind of go over and see. I wrote down a whole bunch of questions. Um, let's see. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
I
we've
want
really
to.
talked on everything. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's something that I wanted to discuss that you mentioned is about the alpha male. It's really interesting because I tried to learn to be an alpha male, but the truth is, I don't want to be an alpha male because I'm not then not myself. Because I try to be somebody again that I'm not. Then I need to like walk like this and talk like somebody else. And if women wants to talk to me, psh, I don't need you. I have all these women, all these chicks. This is not who I am. I'm just introverted guy. I just like to be on my own. I like to do the things that I feel comfortable with, and I don't need to be alpha. But I'm strong to the core now that I can say to women, "Not today. I want to take space for myself." Or if women want to talk to me and she's toxic, I say, "You know what? I feel like this is not gonna work." That's power. That's masculinity. That's alpha male in a healthy way, and not become somebody that you're not. And that's what you see in society today. We're trying to be other people. When we see coaches or dating coaches or business entrepreneurs, we try to copy their behaviors so we
Mhm.
believe we're going to become like them. But I've learned that I can be myself. I can copy their tools, their strategies, and see
Right.
if it works for me, but I don't want to be like them because I'm me and I don't want to change me. And for a lot of people, it's hard to be me because if I'm being me, there's probably that they reject me or that I'm not good enough or I have my flaws and I don't want to show my flaws. I want to have this mask on so people cannot see the real me. And I've been becoming aware of that unconsciously, if I wanted to talk to women, I hold on this mask.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to be showing my true me, being my vulnerable me. So I try to be somebody that I'm not, and then there comes so much anxiety and fear. I won't do it because I go into my head. Because if my mask slowly drops off, she will see the real me, and that hurts so much when I get rejected. So I built this tactics, this coping mechanisms also in the pickup industry to keep myself in a way safe. That's why I learned these tools and tricks and manipulating tactics to be in control, to be in control of the interaction, to be in control of how I move her in certain behaviors. Because again, women are emotionally wired. So if you can push her in certain ways and she can really be attracted to you fast. But I felt like this is not me because I try to be somebody that I'm not. So
Mhm.
This is something that I've seen now with myself. That I said to myself, if I'm gonna meet women, they need to see me as who I am, with my imperfections and perfections. If they don't like me, that's fine because there's also women that I don't like.
Yeah.
But I don't put her in this position that she can judge over me. And if she walks away laughing, I feel terrible about myself. I give power to them, and I need to hold it for myself. So that's what I want to share with the alpha male. There's a lot of stereotypes, and it's okay for you to explore that to understand it, but don't go fully into it and change yourself because women want the real you, not a
Yeah.
pretend, not somebody that. It's funny because women say, I want this, but usually it's something else. So they say, I want a man with a lot of my six pack, but if a normal guy talks to her, she will get butterflies and she's like, oh, I'm in love now. So that's how women work. And what I've seen also with the pickup industry is like a lot of guys think they need to be tall, handsome, they have like a perfect jawline. So women are attracted to them. But I've learned that I need to be myself and women need to be attracted to me as who I am. And that's so powerful. That's really key for attracting women. And yes, you need to understand the dynamics, how women work. Also, you have more depth of understanding what how women think and what they do. But don't go into reading books, how can I manipulate women, or on YouTube, how can I manipulate women into bed? Because eventually you're gonna fail. Yeah, there's the guys that have girlfriends over it with the pickup industry. But then again, I don't feel like you're gonna be your true self.
Well, and I think that we get caught up in words too, and we give so much
Yeah.
credibility to words like alpha and beta. And I mean, like, really, what the hell does it mean? Because for me, at the end of the day, if you're authentic and, like we're walking down the street and I see that you go to the side that the cars are coming down, that's an alpha male. Like that's someone who I recognize is already thinking in a protective stance for me. Like that's very, very powerful, that little gesture and how wonderfully magnificent it is to recognize, oh, okay, like he's going to protect me in a very, very organic and kind of generational way. That's what it means, not a false sense of a false sense of alpha at all. It's not about being big strong because there's only so many big strong. There's only so many, like 10 out of 10 women walking around. So like we cut them all off. They can all be with each other. And then there's the regular of us that are kind of like, okay, we're trying to find our way here, between the fives and the sixes. How do we all manage our world? And we're looking for authentic connections. We keep coming back to the same language. The
Yeah.
hard part, I think, is when I don't feel comfortable in my own skin, then what do I do? So I can say, okay, well, I guess what I'm trying to do as a man or as a woman is figure out how I'm supposed to be authentic. Where do I learn how to be authentic? And that's, I think, the biggest question that we have yet to kind of work our way through on that, because it is about doing the work. It's about figuring out who you are, what your triggers are, what you yourself really want in a partner, because it's not going to be what your neighbor
Yeah.
wants. What is going to make you feel most loved with all of your faults and foibles and all of the stuff that we bring from our own childhoods? It's going to be very, very different. What do you think is going to be helpful for people in terms of like, yeah, we can all go for therapy, but what do you think is going to be a powerful way for people to figure out how to delve into what it means to be authentic and to find your own sense of self?
Yeah, that's a really good question. There's something that came up to me, Jackie, that I want to touch on first is the reason also when I went to pickup was I didn't trust myself, my
Right.
abilities, my skill set, and I had to learn it through pickup. But the thing is, I was depending on those skill sets. So on the lines, that was my focus because I knew if I keep on to the scripts, the lines, the pickup lines, then I knew I would be safe. I would be good. But once I went to my new dating coach and he said, you need to unlearn it all, I panicked because, like, oh, well, yeah, but now what? So I need to be my true self now. I need to talk really from myself. I got scared. I was still, I was cheating because I was still, he told me not to go into pickup, but still unconsciously I went to read some books or on the internet online, and he said, you need to stop because if not, you're not gonna go to the next level. And I said, okay, I will do it. And it took me a long time for me to trust, to feel good about myself, what I say can be important. And if it's not important to them, it's fine. I learned to let go of the outcome. And that was so difficult for me to let go of that because the pickup teaches you to have an outcome constantly to get the fix, to get her into bed. That was always the outcome. That was always the goal. But once, like you said, Jackie, just focus on the connection. Like, hey, how is your day? What are you up to? What do you like to do? What is your passion? Really, really explore her. I really like, again, I panicked. But once I did unlearning the pickup and really start to learn about my skill set and trusting myself, really to talk to them from myself, from my heart, it becomes magical again. I had so much more fun than I was holding on to lines and stuff like that. So to answer your question with therapy, yeah, I highly say if you need it. Nobody in the life that they have is unscathed. You have traumas, you have
Yeah.
painful experiences, also relationships, breakups, all of that. But what I've learned is how do you talk to yourself about it? You can go into the victim mindset and say, oh, this bitch dumped me and now I'm gonna hate everybody. Now I'm gonna get revenge on all the women. I'm gonna sleep with so much
Right.
women, so I'm gonna be strong and tough and nobody gonna hurt me. I will hurt her by dumping, having sex with her and I dump her ex.
Yeah.
That's how men are now treating women. It's like I have fulfilled my needs, and if you have sex and it wasn't good, I don't care. I ejaculated and I'm good. So it's an inner trauma because something happened to you, and now you're trying to, again, revenge or self love from outside of yourself. So the first thing that I would say is start your healing journey. Quit the pickup, really quit. Not reading books, going to courses, forms, cut it out of your life. It's not going to help you. So do those things first. Educate yourself, like the psychology of men and women in a healthy way, not manipulative tactics.
Yeah.
Go to the
Yeah.
gym, go to Southland dancing. That's the best way for you to connect with women in a playful, healthy way. I've been doing it now for a couple of months. I wish I'd done it sooner. Really, it's so much fun. And the best part is you have the connection right away. When they say, okay, get a dancing partner, boom, you go in, you hold her hand, and you're gonna start dancing. And it's better than just the quick fix. And that's what you said, Jackie. We're always for the quick fix, pornography, video games, because talking to women and the end game is sex. It takes a long time. It takes hours or weeks for you to have sex with this girl. And we don't want that. We want it now, right now. And I've learned to slow down, go into myself first, take baby steps, step by step. So that for me is so, so important for you sharing this is again, all these steps and really connect with yourself and really love yourself from your true core. Because I've learned if I love myself, yeah, I have my insecurities like everybody else and I'm working on it, but I'm aware. But once I start to love myself and I started to talk with somebody and she walks away, rejects me, it doesn't matter because I'm
Mm.
good. I'm myself. And if she rejects me, it's a good thing. And the most important that I want to say here is change the mindset from the negative to positive. Because when we get rejected, we go inward, oh, I'm a bad guy, and you see nobody loves me. But if you change like, hey, it's fine. If she rejects me, then we're not meant to be together. There's more women out there, and I will know for sure, truly know that you will find other amazing women out there that you can have a conversation with and move it further. So it's not just the trauma healing, working on yourself, but it's also how you talk to yourself. And I think for you, Jackie, with your coaching and your journey, 100% it's so important to talk positive to yourself and other people as well.
Yeah, I mean, you've hit on so many wonderful things. On the one hand, if you're rejected, it's such a gift because you kind of think, okay, well, there's time in my pocket again, as opposed to I've wasted so much time. You know that if someone is rejecting you, then that is time not wasted. You have time on your side then. One of the things you and I know what each other does, and your audience may or may not know that I am a mind shift coach, which means that I do a lot of work with the unconscious mind. And one of the key components of my work is to make sure that people find how to take 5 to 10 minutes a day and sit in silence. So there's no game on, there's no radio on. You're literally just going to sit, even start with 2 minutes. And if you're that uncomfortable sitting with your thoughts, then you know, like that's a really good point. Reach out and find someone because you need to start getting comfortable in your own skin. If you're that uncomfortable with yourself, you're not going to be able to make a really strong connection with someone else because they're going to be able to feel that distrust of yourself. So you need to really figure out, okay, well, what's behind my distrust of myself or my lack of self compassion and self love? And do the work that figures that kind of stuff out, regardless of who the coach is to help you with that. That confidence and that sense of being comfortable in your own skin is so attractive. It matters not what you look like, but that ability to walk because you walk differently. You walk with your shoulders back, your head is up more, and it's not a posture. It's just the way that you feel about yourself. You're simply more comfortable with yourself, which means you're more confident in yourself. That is very, very attractive to both sexes. Like if men find the same thing with women who aren't all giggly and stupid, but they can just stand and kind of command a little bit of space around them. It's the same thing for women. You notice that about men. And it's not that they are the funniest or that they are, the most alpha male or have got the best head of hair or the best physique. It's the fact that you can really feel that energy. Someone is deadly, deadly comfortable with themselves. That's really attractive because you automatically think, I might be able to make a connection with this person, like a true connection with this person. And so if you're not able to sit with yourself for 1 to 2 to 5 to 10 minutes, just in silence and let your thoughts just kind of percolate around and see where they take you, then it's a really good indicator. Find someone that you can kind of explore that with. You need to kind of figure that one out because otherwise you fill that void with the lowest hanging fruit. And in this case, like you said, I'm going to pay someone a whole bunch of money. They're going to give me a script, and then I work my way through the script. And I never get to figure out who I am or how I want to present myself authentically.
Absolutely. And the thing that came up to me, the first thing is, how to be an actual alpha male is to hold the door for her, open the door for her. When you leave the car, open the door car for her. That's
Yeah.
masculinity. That's like, I'm taking care of my girl right now. She's
Yes.
important. I want her to be safe. I want her to feel comfortable, and she will just glue to you. I heard this from so many women when I open the door for them. You see them, you see something in them. They look at you like, huh? You opening the door for me? And
Yeah.
a lot of men stop doing that. They lost the courtesy to opening door for me. Let's not say like every woman likes that, but I don't care. I like to hold the door for women, and you see something in them. They feel special. They feel good about themselves for a man opening a door for them, and that's something that we shouldn't lose. So I wanted to share that. That's really alpha male, really taking care of yourself and the women or girl that you're with. The second is the toxic lingo for the pickup line because they always talk about approach. It's like you're a tiger or a lion. You need to approach like a target, or when they go on training, it's a boot camp. It's like it sounds like we go to war to diffuse women so we can sleep with them. It's like it's ridiculous. The
Yeah.
lines they use and stuff like that, and it doesn't resonate with me at one point. And I said, this is not healthy, not for my health, not the mindset, not for women, and especially because it's really like going to war against women instead of connecting with them. So that's also one to share. And also something else that I want to talk about, but yeah, maybe that will pop up later. But yeah, it's really, again, the pickup industry is like a huge million marketing industry, and it's really targeting men that doesn't have confidence. It's really insecure, isolated, and it's not healthy because you're always looking for the new training, for the new boot camp, for the new things for you to grow. But what I truly learned from really growing is by doing it. I read all these books about the pickup lines or all these things or how to get better with women, but the true training or the true learning playground is in life itself. To go out, to go on the streets, and talk with women on a healthy way, go
Yeah.
to bars and clubs and have fun, enjoy the interaction with women, and see where it leads you. And that's really the gold in
Yeah.
authentic connection. It's really what can we create together. And all these things that I'm saying, I also want to shout out for John Cooper. He's the founder of the social artistry, and he taught me from to get out of the pickup industry and move into the social artistry. And I've read this book. It's called Game Over, and I
Mm.
read it in one weekend. And once I was done, everything dropped off my shoulder. I felt a relief because I can say to myself, finally, I can be myself. Finally, I don't have to talk to every woman that I saw or see. And my interactions with women started to grow, having more fun. And I felt really a true connection with women. Even though if I say, hey, I like your smile, it's just beautiful to see when they just blossom up or they just smile back and they say, oh, thank you so much. That's so sweet of you.
Yeah.
You make their
Yeah.
day. And that has a ripple effect that can they will remember it for decades, maybe years. When you see her again, she will smile. She will know that you greeted her or gave her a compliment. And the mistake that I had was when I started with the healthy ways of talking to women was I didn't go further. So I didn't ask her
Mm.
out or I always kept it safe or I jacked the conversation. So now in this journey, I'm learning to stay. When I give women compliment, I want to follow up like, hey, who are you? What's your name? So I still learn to have a actual conversation because still a part of me is still I want to get her into bed. But I remove that like, okay, I want to connect with her and see if she's the right fit for me. And from there we will see. And then oh yeah, that was the thing. And then you have the right match because it came back to me. The thing that I want to say is if you're like a five as a guy, just able for the number wise, and you see a girl that's a perfect 10, yeah, there's a small possibility that she will just like you right away. But if you're not on the same level, if you're not a 10 yourself, you will not match because if you're here and she's here, you have really a lot of quality women. But if you're not confident, if you don't have a life for yourself, if you don't have boundaries, boom, she will reject you. And then we say, oh, I cannot have this girl, or she's out of my league. And that's not true because that's lies that you're telling yourself. You need to learn to trust yourself, the skill set, how to talk to them, building muscle, building the confidence, and you will level up with her. And you don't need to be looking at the 10, but your confidence needs to be like that because you will level with her. And that's what I've learned. I'd rather have a girl that's really unattractive, but really like true her herself than a beautiful 10 that's really toxic. So keep in mind for that as
Yeah.
well when you pick your partner.
Well, and the other thing that we know is that when you fall in love with someone, then they are your 10. And all of a sudden, it's
Yeah.
not about the objective way that you're looking at someone. You're looking at someone through their heart and through your heart. And all of a sudden, anything that you didn't see before, you see a person through the eyes of love. I mean, it's a song for a reason, looking through the eyes of love. the other thing is that we know that there's 10s who date other 10s who cheat on each other. Like, I mean, it's not the recipe because you're a 10 that you're going to have a fulfilling relationship. It means that you won the gene pool. That's what it means. It doesn't mean that you have more depth or that you are a more talented person or any of those things. It means that you look good on someone's arm, vice versa, whichever way the 10 is rolling at that point.
Yeah.
And the numbers become inconsequential when you are really looking to connect. And one of the things that we've talked about is the sense of identity and how important it is to have that self compassion, that self understanding, so that you can then explore who's going to complement you the very, very best, because you've done your work. You know that if you're highly triggered, that being someone around someone who's able to say, I've got you, you're safe enough with me, you're good, that you can just kind of let all of that stuff go. When we're kind to each other, when we support each other, when we, truly understand the impact of what it means to be in love with someone, there's nothing like it. And that whole sense of conquest versus connection, I think, is really what we've talked about in this entire show. The work that you're doing is so vitally important, not just to men, although I'm very thrilled that you have that connection and that your audience is made up of so many men. But I can guarantee that you're going to have a lot of women that are kind of seeping in here to figure out what the messages are that you're trying to establish with the men who
Yeah.
are part of your audience, because we want to know that this work is being done too. Like, it's very, very exciting to know that amongst men, there are a group of men who aren't worried about alpha or beta, who are exploring what that whole toxicity means and how do I understand my own sense of identity and self compassion and love, and know that I have to work through my trauma in the same way that my partner will have to work through some trauma. So as we're wrapping up, because I'm very much aware of your time, what are the last messages that you want to leave your particular audience with in regards to this? I've learned so much about this as an industry. As I clearly said at the beginning, I didn't even know that it was $1 billion industry.
Yeah.
I thought it was literally dating, not pickup industry per
No.
se. And there's a big difference. What would you like to leave your listeners with in terms of a wrap up?
I have one more question for you, Jack, and I really like to have your understanding or your point of view. So, what do you think about dating apps?
Oh, okay. I've never been on one, so I can't say. I
Oh,
have enough people that are my age who have found someone. I have friends. I've got my kids who I think use them. I think that you can find good people, and think that you can find people of, not bringing their best self and not having done the work. I think it simply is a microcosm of the macrocosm, really. I don't think that only bad people go on them, or only great people go on them. But it is, I think, an opportunity to meet people, like you and we both swiped right or left, whichever it is. And we decided to meet over a dinner, and boom, that's our first actual interaction. Anything before that really, isn't going to matter as much as when we're sitting side by side or across a table and having a drink with each other. Then how are we connecting? Are we connecting at all? Is there any chemistry whatsoever? Are we able to string a bunch of sentences together? Or do I find you interesting and fascinating, but there's no chemistry? Like, it's all of that stuff that used to happen much more organically before the apps, but at least the apps present an opportunity for people to kind of jump in. What do you think?
that's interesting because I have really a toxic mindset towards the dating, and I agree. There's good things because I'll say the pros. The pro is it has a low stepping stone to meet people, so it's easier. You make a profile and stuff like that. The reason that I don't like dating apps is because when you go on a dating app and they look at you only from the point of view of your picture, so it's like,
Right.
ah, yeah, another guy. No, not for me. Oh, his nose. Nope, not for me. Women point of view. Oh, he has not a nice dog. Nope. Wait, so you're just looking on his face or his profile, and from that you judge him. And for men, they do the same. Oh, she's not a 10. Well, oh, she has too much friends, but you don't know this person at all. And I tried dating her so many times, and every time I went on, I had no response. I had to have this perfect line, this perfect profile, and I got sick and tired of it because I didn't feel connected to it. I'd rather go into the real world. When I see somebody walking that I'm attracted to, I walk up to her, start a conversation, and from there we will see. Because I will know in that moment what I have. And with the apps, I don't know because you some people they have fake profiles or pictures from decades ago,
Yes.
and I don't want to like my waste my time on that. And I'm not saying dating apps is not a bad thing, but when I remember with Tinder, it was like a hookup Tinder, it was just sex and all of that, and I just quit and I said I'm gonna learn the skill set, and that's how I define myself as a man to go into the world, having conversation, go to the people or go to the women that I'm attracted to. If I have eye contact with them, start a conversation, and that's the magic of life. And like
Yeah.
you said, Jackie, the app is it's a powerful tool. It's easier, it's faster. You can set up a date fast, but for me, it's more magical to interact with the world, and it will bring you so many cool things. And plus, you really learn to grow and work on yourself. If you have a problem or you're afraid to talk with women, with the apps, you still save behind your
Computer.
your screen.
Yeah.
And when you're actually with women in the moment, or you see her walking, you get excited or there's anxiety. So with the
Yeah.
phone, it's different. So that's my point of view. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but personally, I
Yeah.
never go on there anymore, and I rather just interact with real women. So
What I
as a
what I
close
like,
up,
I'm just going to jump in before you close up. I'm just going to jump in and
yeah,
say one thing. I couldn't agree more. And I think where we've lost ability, like where we can be risk averse, where it doesn't really serve us, is the idea of going to events. So joining a volleyball team, going to dinner
yeah,
with friends, which is a thing that happens, or like in a city you can go to, where everybody who just wants to meet anybody can go to a dinner with friends. If you have an interest in
singles
horseback
party,
riding, then you just find where the interests are that you really want to explore, either
yeah,
as a hobby or something that you want to pick up. And then there's that organicness of A, having something in common, and B, you're not going there to meet. But how wonderful if you find someone through that connection. This, on the one hand, you're feeding your own soul and you're finding out more about yourself. On the other hand, you're open to seeing whatever happens wherever you go. And I think that that's the energy that you can bring to some of those really natural events that you can explore. Very, very different than the apps. I couldn't agree more. There's something artificial about the apps, but if you're living and you don't have an ability to kind of find out in a small town or something, or everybody knows everybody else, but you're trying to figure out how to manage things, I think that there's a couple of different ways that you can do them, but they take guts. Like, you've got to join stuff. You've got to
yeah,
put yourself out there and maybe walk into an event on your own. That's hard to do, but it could be very
it
worthwhile.
is.
And you got nothing to lose. You'll learn a skill.
No, the thing is, there's so much possibilities, and what I've learned, you grow so much faster than just being on a
Yeah.
dating app because you challenge yourself, you go out of your comfort zone, and you can do things right away. If you go for a walk or an event, you
Yep.
can say like, "Hey, let's go to this bar or to this lounge and have another drink." Because with dating apps, you have to plan the date, and then
Yeah.
it's different. I don't know. It feels not real.
Sure. Yeah.
So
Agreed.
yeah, so that's my intake on that. So yeah, Jackie, before I'm gonna close off, it was a really interesting conversation. It was also nice to talk about this because you don't see many podcasts that talk about the pickup industry. And the reason that I wanted to share this, and I'm so grateful that you took the time to sit down with me and talk about this and ask me these questions, is become aware of the pickup industry because yeah, it will teach you a lot of things, but it's toxic. And the reason again
Yeah.
it's toxic is you're learning to interact with women in a toxic way. It's not healthy. And plus, they make a lot of money. I remember when they charge like 100 or 200 for the course, plus the people that sign up. They make so much money, and it's okay. Again, if you're a coach, it's okay to make money, but please, if you're a dating coach, do it more in an efficient, healthy way, not just for the guys, but also for the women, because women are not just an object that you can put your penis in and then you're done. There's more to men and women,
Yeah.
and that's what we need to go back to, more to the connection side instead of this fake connection of just get fulfilling our needs and get what we want instead of really a healthy relationship. And life becomes more enjoyable. That's what I've learned. So that's my final set about the pickup industry. My last final word is, again, when you want to get better to women, I will recommend you John Cooper. This is the dating coach that transformed my life. I always tell him when I talk to him, like, John, you changed my life for forever, and I wouldn't change it for anything. And I really want to give him a shout out. I will also put his book and his course on the show notes so you can check it out.
Perfect.
And like I said, it transformed my life for the best. I'm not the guy right now because of him. If he wasn't there, I would still be looking for other dating coaches, and probably I found another one. But with John, it resonated with me because he doesn't tell you how to use pickup lines. He teaches you how to interact with women from you, just
Yeah.
you. And they have pillars and course and structures and that, like every course, but it's healthy and better for men and women. So if you want to take that step, I highly recommend you to go there and also do the work on yourself. Be curious
Yeah.
about the man and woman dynamics. Be curious about reading books, asking if you have girlfriends, just friends, just ask them like, hey, what can you teach me about the women dynamics, or how do you think? Or you can learn a lot from women just to be open.
Yes. Yeah,
So
absolutely. This has
yes,
been
something you want
fabulous,
to
Vincent.
add?
I can't help you enough. I've learned so much. And like I said, I didn't even know it was this kind of an industry in terms of the conquest piece.
Yeah,
So thank you. And kudos to you to finding someone that you've really connected with and that you realize his is doing the industry some good. So that's wonderful news. We'll connect soon, I hope,
absolutely.
sometime.
Yeah, for sure. I think in a couple of months I'm gonna upload our episode. So I highly recommend for the people that are tuning in and also following me to check the episode out. Jackie is really amazing. She's really cool. I've learned a lot from her. So yeah, I highly recommend checking our interview when it's live. And Jackie, again, thank you so much for being here. I love to have you on the show, and also we had this conversation. So thank you so much for that. So
It's
before
been
we're
great.
gonna go, is there something you want to add as a final word?
Just if anybody is looking for me, this is the work that I actually do and that I love doing for both men and women. And so if there's anything that you heard in terms of my energy and the way that I like to kind of work through questions and stuff, give me a shout. I love having these conversations with Vincent. I'm so proud, like almost like a mother proud in terms of the work that I see you doing. It's
Thank
really,
you.
really exciting. I have a son, I have a daughter. I'm living vicariously through their dating situations, and it's really interesting because every generation it's completely different. So this
Yeah,
has been really, really worthwhile for me, and I really want to thank you for the work that you're doing also. It's very, very important. Thank you.
thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it. And yeah, it's also for the future children not to be seen as just objects. Also for women and pornography, it's so toxic, and we need to move away from it and go more, like you said, Jackie, into the healthy connection and not just fulfilling our needs. Yeah, we have our desires, but for men, we only usually we want to meet women because we want to get laid and not really have a real true understanding and learning who she really is. So that's my goal, to really get connected again with each other and not just for lust. So I think that's the perfect way for us to end. So yeah, Jackie, again, thank you so much. And for the listeners, again, if they want to reach out to you, how can they find you and follow you?
The easiest way to get in contact with me is through email, which is Jacqueline at the Mind Shift Coach. And then I can just kind of work with you in any way capacity that feels like it's going to be most natural. Jacqueline, and I know that Vincent will put that below, Jacqueline at the Mind Shift Coach. So hoping to hear from people. Thanks so much. And thanks for the opportunity. It's been great to see you again.
Absolutely. It's been a blast. I really enjoyed my conversation. And yeah, I look forward to our future chat or do something else together. So thank you so much, Jackie.
Sounds
So,
great.
guys, thank you so much for watching. This is really a cool episode. I really enjoyed the conversation that I had. And also, for the first time, I could have talked about the pickup industry because it's something is really important and there's not much light shine on. And I'm not saying the pickup industry is totally bad because I learned a lot from it, but it's really toxic. And like we explained in this episode, it's not good for men and women. So I want to shine light on that so men can move away from the pickup industry and go to healthier coaches or do it on your own. So yeah, Jackie, thank you so much. And guys, don't forget to like and subscribe for the How to Heart Show on YouTube. You can also follow me on the social media platforms and share my updates and the things that I'm doing. And yeah, I have weekly episodes that you can check out. So Jackie, again, thank you so much. Guys, thank you so much. And I wish you all the best and take care. Bye.
Hey Lions, thank you for listening. Glad to have you on our journey to the authentic self. Want to learn more to embrace your potential? I invite you to keep listening. Do me a favor and smash the like and subscribe buttons, as this helps the show reach more listeners who need to hear these messages. See you next time.